Hot girls have IBS, and everybody's fibremaxxing. What's going on? We're bloated. Do I need probiotics? What's a microbiome? Am I supposed to eat rotten things? It's confusing. Well, I've researched the top gut health doctors, registered dietitians, books, and more, and broken it all down into simple, actionable tips you can use to hopefully help you understand that little village living inside your tummy and how it actually affects your brain, sleep, and overall health. And I think I found the reason why all hot girls have IBS. And yes, you're a hot girl. Let's jump to it. Starting off, what is gut health? There's this tube that delivers food from your stomach to where it exits, called your gastrointestinal tract. Gut health is the function of this system. Actions such as digestion, absorption of food, and the exiting of the remains. Yes, we have to talk about this a lot. There's trillions of bacteria in your gut known as your gut microbiota. And these don't just involve digesting your food into calories for your body to use. All my information on this gut health definition is from Dr. Megan Rosie, PhD gut health scientist and registered dietitian. She has served as a leading research fellow at King's College London, investigating nutrition-based therapies in gut health, including prebiotics and probiotics, medical diets, plant-based diversity, food additives, and more. To date, she has secured over $3 million in research funding and published more than 50 scientific papers in international peer-reviewed journals. aka, we're in pretty good hands listening to her tips. Now, why is your gut health important? Your microbiome can affect conditions like depression, diabetes, autoimmune disease, and interestingly enough, your digestive tract houses 70% of your immune cells, and studies link a diverse gut microbiome with lower risk of many diseases such as cancer, heart disease, liver disease, diabetes, asthma, depression, and IBS, aka irritable bowel syndrome. Now, that's gut health, but what about bloating? I feel a lot of people's main concern with gut health is bloating. They feel constantly bloated, but what is bloating? Bloating is a feeling of increased pressure in intestines, sometimes accompanied by visible protrusion. It comes from sheer volume of food/fluid or gas produced by gut bacteria when eating fermented high-fiber foods. Part 2, fibremaxxing, the other thing we have to get a definition of that you might have heard on social media.
What you doing? I'm fibremaxxing.
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 This is the new solution on social media that is promising the solution to your gut health and just all your problems, as in all social media trends. Well, let's talk the tips that they have been recommending online. You be the judge if they're worth it. So fibremaxxing is you aim to meet or exceed the recommended daily fiber intake, which is usually 25 to 38 grams of fiber per adult. And some people are trying to even exceed this, the more the better. But is that beneficial? We'll talk about it. Now, on the surface, this is a great trend. Fiber is great for you. According to Mir Ali, MD, board certified general surgeon, bariatric surgeon, and medical director of Memorial Care Surgical Weight Loss Center, fiber is so important. Fiber will help keep your colonic movements regular. Fiber can help lower cholesterol too. It helps maintain a healthy gut flora, which could be important for maintaining normal metabolisms and hormone levels. It also helps keep you full. So for those who are on a weight loss journey, is going to make them the healthiest version of themselves. Feeling full makes that a lot easier. So is this safe? Most RDs and doctors say yes, but proceed with caution. Dr. Ali stresses the importance of ramping up your fiber intake slowly, meaning don't just go all in. It's a slow process. You want to take it nice and easy and slow, and also up your water intake, because without getting into the nitty-gritty, fiber needs water to make it smooth. Otherwise, it's just a rock in your gut. So if you eat too much fiber out of nowhere and don't let your body adjust, you just made the problem a lot worse. So slowly let your body adjust to a higher fiber intake, and also be conscious of your hydration levels. So is fibremaxxing, can I end the video here in this solution to our gut health? It's no. It's one piece of the puzzle, but it's not everything. Let's talk about it. Specifically, the tips you can take to improve your gut health. These are from Dr. Megan Rosie, which I talked about previously. Number 1, embrace plant diversity. Aim to include at least 30 different plant-based foods each week. This will help boost the diversity of your gut microbiome. Number 2, focus on the Super 6. Now, when I said plants, you're probably just thinking of vegetables. Nope, there's 6 different categories of plants. 1, fruit, 2, vegetables, 3, whole grains, 4, beans and legumes, 5, nuts and seeds, 6, herbs and spices. 3, increase your fiber intake. My favorite food personally is cinnamon buns. Microbe's favorite food is fiber. And the goal is just 30 grams a day seems to be another way. We had the ratio before, but that's what Dr. Rosie recommends. 4, opt for whole foods. Choose whole and natural foods as possible. 5, use food as a tool, not restriction. I've always personally loved this mindset. Instead of going with like all the foods you can't have, just try and think of all the foods you want to include. So instead of like demonizing sugar, just be like, oh, what high fiber foods can I get in? And as the manifesting girlies online would say, an abundance, not scarcity mindset. You want the abundance, all this wide variety of plants and fiber you can have. Focus on that instead of focusing your energy on just like eliminating other things. 6, fermented foods. There's decent clinical evidence for health benefits and also way to incorporate probiotics in your body without a supplement. Example, yogurts, kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut to your daily diet. Fermented dairy does seem to have the most studies behind it to prove this versus something like kombucha. It just doesn't have as many studies. So if you wanted to pick a fermented food, it seems to be fermented dairies like kefir. Now, that's what to eat, but I actually have 10 healthy habits that can improve your gut health without changing your diet at all, which we'll talk about later in the video. Part 4, the myths of gut health. And I think it's important because I don't want your journey to gut health be a thing of restriction or just like unnecessary protocols. So let's talk the myths. 1, I just need a probiotic. If using probiotics, ensure they are strain-specific and evidence-based for a targeted health issue. Example, strains for post-antibiotic use. Do not use probiotics unnecessary during antibiotics without checking the specific recommended strain though, as this can delay microbiome recovery. For gut health, you do not need a probiotic. They can be very therapeutical, almost like a specialist doctor. Each different strain does different things. But taking antibiotics clinical guidelines and trials show that certain strains of products should be taken during antibiotic treatment to protect the gut and reduce antibiotic-associated diarrhea. 2, you need to cut out major food groups like gluten and dairy to get good gut health. Gut health is actually seems to be, from all my research and reading from like Dr. Rosie and that, it's not about elimination, it's more about diversity, not exclusion. Cutting out whole foods can negatively impact gut health and may make you more sensitive to them, causing the gut issues in the first place. 3, bloating is from a specific food. It is often more complex, doctors say in registered dietitian, and it involves many different factors than just one food. Obviously, if you have an allergy, which we'll talk about later, but it can also involve things like stress, movement, hydration levels, and a lot of other things. 5, apple cider vinegar will solve all my problems. There is very minimal clinical evidence on this. It might actually just trigger heartburn for some people, so proceed with caution. Don't do that. Next, commercial food intolerance tests are reliable. I'm sorry. According to American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Food Allergies of Canada, most commercial tests for diagnosing food intolerances are invalid pseudoscience. Shucks. And lack scientific evidence. The only expectation in a specific breath test for lactose intolerance. To actually get it, you need to do skin and blood tests and medical history to really see your intolerance. So you have to go to like a specialist. It's not saying the technology isn't there, but it hasn't been like 100% proven. So once again, you could end up wasting your money. But at the same time, there could be tests out there that are really beneficial, but they just don't really have the clinical back yet. So it's just kind of a not best use of your money. Before we go into some other healthy habits and some other things, I just actually want to talk about like my own personal experience with gut health. 1, elimination. I think we see a lot of people online who are trying to improve their gut health. They really try and like eliminate as many things as possible. And I had one really bad experience for this. When I was in bodybuilding, there was one prep where I completely cut out dairy as someone who usually eats a very high dairy diet, as someone who isn't lactose intolerant. And I eliminated it for several months. And I remember the first day I was so excited, finally got dairy back in. I had some Greek yogurt and oh my God, my stomach killed. I was like, I'm in so much pain. I was like, oh, I have developed an intolerance to dairy. And my life is crushed. Ice cream, cream cheese, like icing, like so much of my life, dairy, like burrata. I was panicking. And I remember me just being the idiot that I am, but it worked out in my early 20s, is I just kept going. For a couple days, I didn't care the pain because I was like, I have been without ice cream, Greek yogurt for so long that I'm just gonna bear with it. And guess what? After 5 days, it was completely fine. So there's an example of sometimes like eliminating something from your diet. When you bring it back in, it doesn't necessarily mean you're intolerant to it. It's just you haven't been having it. So having it could be the solution. 2, I want to talk about increasing fiber and fibremaxxing. Back in the day, food challenges were a really big thing on YouTube, and I was definitely in it. And so what was the big thing back in 2019? Plant-based diet, vegan. And so I went vegan for 30 days. And I've actually done vegan a few times in my life, just for whatever reasons. I've just played around with, like, when I was younger, for more moral reasons. And then, you know, we all watched Game Changers in 2019. And I have never been so bloated in my entire life, because I went from just having like 25 to 35 grams of fiber a day, but suddenly I was probably in that 35 to 50 out of nowhere, and the bloat I felt was awful. So there is a warning that is true. If you suddenly go 0 to 100, just take your time, learn from me. Another example of my own gut health is actually something I'm going through right now. I have just had a medical procedure about 2-3 weeks ago that I was going through. I've just been on a lot of medication for about 2 months. Got this procedure done. I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. All good. But yeah, it's just constant hormones and medication and antibiotics and the whole works. And my gut is just not feeling great. But with that, I've had that happen in the past. I've had knee surgery, I have breast augmentation removal, like I've had many times. And I've just noticed, for me, the best thing you can do is kind of just like build that muscle back of like getting on the fermented foods. I wish I had the resources to go get testing done so I know which specific prebiotic, which I do kind of take supplements with that. So in my mind, this isn't perfect, but I just try and get a wide variety of a whole bunch from different sources. And I feel that helps my gut, which leads me into the next thing that I've noticed when my gut is healthy. Why I really want to promote a wide diversity of food and not restriction is I have to travel a lot for work. And of course, me and my fiance live in different countries. So we're kind of back and forth between Sweden and Canada and between airports and all. So like I'm always eating random food. And it doesn't really affect me like when I go overseas with some girlfriends who have really bad stomach issues. Is I do think one of the reasons I always say I have an iron gut is just because I eat a lot of different things. And the irony to that is by eating more things, my microbiome is fuller, I believe, which allows me to eat more things. And so it's kind of that. And so that would be my recommendation. I've just noticed for myself. I can't give any medical advice because I'm not a professional. All the medical advice I've given is specifically from doctors, registered dietitians, and professionals, but just like my own experience is like, I find it so beneficial to eat a wide variety of food. And when I travel, I just notice I don't get too upset in my stomach. Speaking a lot about traveling, just a little side quest. Sorry if you're new here and don't give a crap about me, but for you, my loyalists, I love you all. You'll notice different background. I have moved. I'll talk about that later. That's not what this video is, but you're suddenly like, where's this background? But all good things. I'm going to do a Q&A for December. So if you have any questions you guys want, leave them down in the comments and I'll do that later, whether it be questions about fitness, health, or myself, and we'll answer that. To explain this random, this is a work in process. This is not my choice of color. But ironically, bacteria, kind of fitting for the video. The green, the bacteria gut microbiome. I got sent this shirt once and it's right here. I should be wearing this. What am I doing? Back to the things you care about, like bloating. Speaking of bloating, let's talk about one thing a lot of people associate bloating water retention with is sodium. Increased sodium levels. You have a salty meal, you bloat the next day. I kind of want to debunk that a little. Now, there's many things that cause water retention. Pregnancy, hormonal changes, heart failure, kidney disease, lymphatic dysfunction, malnutrition, obesity, infections, allergies, and many, many more. And another thing, high carbohydrate intake. This is why you carb load before you run a race. But with that, your body also retains water. I can put it here. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but for pretty much every gram of carbs you consume, your body retains a certain amount of water. And it is quite often these salty foods you have that causes water retention are actually high carb foods. And so a lot of the times the culprit isn't necessarily just the sodium, it is more often the carbs you eat that cause this water retention bloating, which isn't bad. It's a good thing that your body has the ability to do this. It's just more education of what it is. Studies suggest that most people won't retain more fluids after a high sodium intake, but salt-sensitive foods may retain more fluids at a higher salt intake. This is a bit tricky to test, but you just kind of have to be aware of yourself. But for me personally, I have a very high sodium diet. I have 1 to 2 packs of electrolytes a day, and I don't notice any difference in water retention from it. My body has like adjusted also, but I don't personally see a water retention when I up my sodium. But just like how you have to adjust your fiber slowly to let your body adjust higher sodium, you might also want to slowly adjust. And you're probably like, Keltie, why would you want to have a high sodium diet? This is more for my athletic people, my fitness people, working out 1 to 2 hours a day in a hot climate, very laborious outdoor jobs. Like a lot of you guys are runners. And for me, supplementing with electrolytes has helped so much with reducing cramps. Actually, like you become more hydrated, better performance, and overall improvement, like lack of headaches. It helps with my hangovers. And of course, you guys know my favorite electrolyte is Element because of its science-based ratio of 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, trusted by professionals in the NFL, NBA, NHL. I love it. It tastes so good. It is cozy season. I love to have the chocolate one with some hot water. I know at first you're like, salted chocolate electrolyte? No. Think salted chocolate hot cocoa. Oh, I crave it. All year long, it is the vibe. And then of course my other favorites are like citrus and grapefruit with some just nice ice water. Delicious. Do I chug one every night after a night of drinking? Yes. Have I had a hangover since then? I cannot recall. And of course, I'm not going to talk about it and not give you guys a code. If you go to drinklmnt.com/Keltie, you'll get one of their best seller packs with your purchase. This is a great way to try the most popular flavors like citrus and raspberry, or share them with a salty friend. Once again, that's drinklmnt.com/Keltie. Thank you, Element, for sponsoring this video and my everyday life, because I drink it every day. Love it. Part number 6, gut health is more than a flat stomach. I think what leads a lot of people to gut health is just the ever famous goal of getting a flat stomach that has been drilled into us since we were young, that is the ultimate prize. But I want to really step away from that because, yeah, that could be a bonus if you have really severe bloating, severe stomach issues, and that it will help your stomach settle. That's great. But there's actually a ton of health benefits and why gut health is important for all of us, regardless of physical appearance goals. Namely, the gut-brain axis. How many times has your mother told you, trust your gut? Well, there's actually a little bit of science behind that. Your gut and brain are in constant communication via 3 messaging systems: your immune system, nervous system, and chemical products of your microbiomes, which impact your body's alarm system, signals, and literally shipping of different building blocks for your hormones and more. Secondly, hormones, how much your gut health affects this. Women especially important during menopause and perimenopause, which is when there is a decrease of estrogen that reduce microbial diversity, as one example of how your sex hormones affect your gut microbiomes. For women focusing on gut health, it becomes especially important during those phases of life, and dietary changes like eating more fruits and vegetables and fiber can help with this. Now, I promise there's some healthy habits you can start doing right now that will improve your gut health from Dr. Megan Rosie and other professionals I've established, but don't involve you having to change your diet at all. Don't we love that? Number 1, chew your food well. Yes, it is pretty hard on your gut if it just has a whole apple. So just be conscious of your taking, and this is me, I take 2 bites swallow. The goal, a lot of professionals say, is aim for 20 to 30 chews per bite. Not just the physical chewing of food, but there's actually digestive enzymes in your mouth that help break down food. 2, eat earlier in the day. Eating food at night will not cause weight gain. You don't have to be fearful of this. This is someone who eats right before bed, so I'm a hypocrite. But finishing food a couple hours before bed can reduce impacts like acid reflux. It also does improve your quality of sleep because digestion is hard on your body, and so it raises heart rate, which you don't want when you're going to sleep. 3, mindful versus distracted eating. Now I know you're watching this video eating lunch right now. Because I need YouTube to eat lunch as well. But just be aware that distractions like social media on YouTube can result in just like eating too fast or overeating, which can result in bloating harder on your stomach. Now, every professional is going to tell you, eat distraction free. But you know what? I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a professional. I'm going to give you a realistic tip because I'm not giving up YouTube. My tip is stick to long form things. Read a book, watch a movie, a long YouTube video, 30 minutes plus, something that you just focus on one thing so you can still focus on your food. Because I love to watch a show, scroll TikTok, and eat, which is, I can't comprehend all these things. And also I feel just scrolling / being on your phone, moving is when you really start, I also start scuffing things down. So you know what? Yeah. It'd be nice if we were all at the place that the next step from distraction free was just not being on our phone. No. We're on 3 different technologies. Right now, let's just concentrate just watching YouTube. Just sit there, watch, and eat. And just be mindful of how much you're chewing and slowing down. Try not to scoff it down. Right now, Stacy, breathe. Just take it, chill. We're in this together. Have a nice vibey lunch. You're in no rush. And if you're in a rush, I'm sorry. Next, develop a consistent morning routine, which can help bowel movements. Things such as a cup of coffee, if you know, adding flax seeds to your oatmeal, and getting some light movement can all help just get things going. Which leads me to my next tip, movement. Body movements can aid your digestion by promoting stimulation of the stomach and intestines, causing food to move through more rapidly. Next up from Dr. Rosie, prioritize a healthy weight and lifestyle. Focus on nutritional quality, regular exercise, good sleep, and mindful eating rather than just calorie counting to maintain a healthy weight. It really is always that. Instead of just focusing on the scale, do those other good things. Next, quit smoking. I'm sorry. Because sadly, smoking is a major risk for gut conditions such as leaky gut. So if you want to improve your gut health and you're smoking, good luck. Sending it to you as someone with an addictive personality. I believe in you and it'll help your gut. Next, optimize your position when sitting on the toilet. Squat while you poop. That's how we're designed and can make it easier. So for my hot girls in your life with IBS, get a squatty potty. Or just something to prop your feet up. I did 2 Black Fridays ago get a squatty potty, and it changed my life. Worth it. And lastly, the most important tip of all, avoid tight clothing. Hot girls, wear tight clothes. Tight clothes can restrict your stomach and the ability for food to move, causing bloating. So yeah, sometimes your bloating could just be tight clothes. So I stopped wearing high-rise pants for the most part for this. I'm team low/mid-rise because I just noticed the high-rise just cut into my stomach and I'm like, I cannot digest food. I am so bloated. So this might not be the solution, but just an easy fix. It could just be your pants, which would be crazy. But that does definitely happen to me. Now, this is a really health, borderline medical video. And as someone who's not a professional, I really tried to just give tips from there and not cross over. But I do want to leave with some disclaimers and warnings. 1, listen to your body. Bloating is normal. A big pet peeve of mine on social media is this thing that like you can never be bloated. Everything's about de-bloating, gut health, all this. Like sometimes you just eat too much, okay? It's not that deep. You get bloated, it's totally fine. Now, if you have chronic bloating that's really impacting your life, that is when to see a medical professional. And obviously you wanna, have a lifestyle that doesn't involve every time you eat a meal, you feel miserable and bloated. But at the same time, if you eat a couple meals and you feel bloated after, or you have some habits right now that aren't optimal, it's okay. Bloating happens. It's not the end of the world until it breaches into chronic. But I think a lot of us are walking around stressed as can be because we're always bloated and the stress is causing bloating. Second, just red flags. Consult a GP or physician to rule out serious issues if you experience red flags alongside bloating, such as unintentional weight loss, more than 5% in 6 months, blood in your poop, fever, low blood iron levels, or onset symptoms specifically after age 50. So if you have any of those other conditions as well, with your bloating, please talk to a professional. And lastly, let's talk about allergies and intolerances. Always talk to a doctor, do not ignore this. But interesting article just came out. The Canada's pediatrician recently updated guidance to feeding babies peanuts that has helped tens of thousands of kids avoid allergies, studies find. A decade after a landmark study provided that feeding peanuts products to young babies could prevent the development of life-threatening allergies. New research finds that change has made a big difference in the real world. So there's kind of this belief right now, and the studies are coming out. Of course, if you're a mother, do not listen to anything I'm about to say. Please talk to your doctor. But this research is saying now that there was this fear of peanut allergy, so we didn't give our kids peanuts. Therefore, that's what created the allergy. Kind of like a bigger scale version of my lactose issue with the Greek yogurt, but at a younger age. And so now pediatricians here in Canada are being recommended feeding peanuts a little earlier. I don't know the exact times. Talk to your pediatrician. But this seems to be helping reduce the prevalence of peanut allergies, which is crazy and also really makes us reframe that thought of that gut health and intolerances is not a thing of elimination, but once again, abundance. So to end off, let's summarize this all up with my favorite tips. 1, maintain hydration. Drinking plenty of water, 1.5 to 2 liters seems to be good for the average person. You might need a little bit more if you're more active or larger, but yeah, drinking water helps things go. 2, eat a wide variety of foods, especially those high in fiber and micronutrients. 3, don't fear processed foods. Just fear eating not enough beans. 4, stress management. Find a way that allows you to manage your stress. 5, get enough sleep. And 6, move your body. Oh, does that sound familiar? The conclusion of every single video ever, because that's always the solution. Yeah, those things is health and wellness. And I'm gonna wrap it up in some clickbaity, fancy thing every single time. And I'm gonna talk about fibremaxxing and all these crazy, wacky things. And it always is stress management, wide variety of foods, drink water, move your body, sleep, have a social life. It's always that. Oh, once again, conclusion. well-balanced life. But once again, if you guys have any questions you want me to answer in a future video, leave that down below, or leave any other tips that you've noticed that have helped your gut health, especially if you're a professional. Would love to hear from registered dietitians and doctors down in the comments. We love when you take the time to do that, but you're busy, so also no pressure. But of course, one of the most important things for health and wellness is stress management, and one of the most best way to help your stress is petting a dog. Have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.